All right, welcome back to yet another exciting edition of the Growth Podcast. We continue having interesting conversations with some notable people who are making some very good progress in their lives. Last time we had a conversation with Lady Norena around marriage, around careers, and around how people can basically navigate, especially in toxic working environments. Today we're having a different conversation. Away from careers, now we're going into business and entrepreneurship, which obviously in Zambia, we have a lot of it. We have a lot of people that generally have the interest for business, but they actually don't, actualize it. So today we're talking to someone who's actually having their hands dirty running their business. I'm talking to Mr. Maybin Simbeye, the chairman and founder of Wind Electronics. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Good morning, Sue. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How's Wind Electronics doing?
Wind is doing great. I'm actually honored to be a part of this growth podcast. It is a rare privilege, and we say thank you. So it will be a very wonderful conversation with you, and definitely we're looking forward to share our experience of how we built Wind from the start to where it is at now. Sure. You're definitely going to learn a lot.
Well, most people call you Mayback.
Yeah.
Where did that name come from?
That's the most common name on the streets. Yeah, Mayback. Yeah, not knowing why, but it was my high school nickname. Yeah, because of, I don't know, so much going on, doing business in high school, organizing buses for the whole school. Yeah. So I don't know why people had to call me Mayback, but
why? What school did you go to? High school?
I was at Hillcrest.
Hillcrest.
Yeah.
So you're the smart guy.
The cream of the nation.
I am from Hillcrest. Obviously, you went to CBU. What did you do there?
I studied agroforestry at CBU.
Agroforestry.
Yeah.
Why?
I had to get enrolled into university, so I was looking to do a bit of agriculture, and agroforestry was what was actually related to agriculture.
So you had like a general interest for agriculture?
For agriculture, yes.
Where did it come from?
I don't know, but I've just had interest because everybody says agriculture is something that's gonna bring food on the table and give you lots of money too. So who doesn't want to make money?
So you did your agroforestry at CBU, and then you got done.
No.
Oh, you didn't even finish?
No. So while I was at CBU, so what happens is, from second year, they actually pick a few students who are actually sent on a student exchange program to Israel. So I was privileged to be amongst those few students, which was approximately about 15, who were traveled to Israel to do internship. Yeah. So internship and a bit of school too. Yeah. Actually, that's where Wind started. That's why I raised my capital to come and start and set up Wind.
So you didn't finish agroforestry?
So I did my internship diploma in Israel. That's in agronomy. Mm-hmm. Then I had to come back for my final year to come and finish my bachelor's degree in agroforestry.
So you finished the degree at CBU?
Yes.
Okay. And I thought you cut it short.
Sure.
And then, so from there, tell me, like Wind, where the whole idea come from for Wind Electronics?
Okay. So while I was waiting to get enrolled into university, that's at CBU, I was, my aunt took me in to work in insurance, yeah. So while I was working in insurance, as I was waiting to go to school, I once got a phone from a colleague of mine at Katondo. Yeah. So while I was getting that phone, it had a few faults here, there. Then I got a bit interested in what those guys were doing on the streets. Yeah. So from there, I actually became a full-time on the streets. I quit my job.
You quit your job?
Yeah.
What job were you doing?
I was an insurance broker, of course. So mostly I was doing a bit of claims and whatnot, yeah.
So you quit that to be on the streets?
Yes.
Katondo Street?
Yes, Katondo Street.
So you're one of those guys that used to gong at people with phones and whatnot? No. Like where those stories would hear, no, when you're buying the phone, there's network. When you go home, there's no network. You guys were the engineers.
Apparently, I never had such a scenario for myself, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd basically just, you'd have these customers who would come in with a broken Samsung S4, broken screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd refurbish it, sell it for a good price. Basically, that's what was just going on around my cycle, yeah.
Okay.
While I was waiting to get into university.
Okay. Yeah. How was it on the day-to-day on Katondo Street? How were you making money?
It was very good actually then. I think there was too much money in circulation. Yeah, you definitely leave home without any kwacha. And you definitely make 300-400 kwacha a day. It was very fair.
Okay.
Very fair.
So where did you get your first initial capital for the business?
Because
I'm assuming you had to sell a phone, for example.
Yes.
Where did you get the first money
of course
to buy
I was working. Of course I was working. So I was saving up. The 500 kwacha was getting paid. Yeah. I've always been so disciplined with the cash.
Who were you staying with the time that you were working as an insurance broker?
I was staying with my my uncle. Yeah,
Your
I lost my parents when I was in grade 1. Both my
Wow.
parents. Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's sad.
yeah, it actually made me a stronger man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's what
yeah,
you do with
yeah,
what
yeah,
life gives
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Why I asked you who you were staying with
yeah.
is because I want to know what their reaction was when you told them that Nare Kanchito, I'm now going into on the streets, and not just the streets but Katondo Street. What was
Oh.
your uncle's reaction?
Of course, everybody's reaction is, but why would you do such a thing? Why would you do such a thing? But the streets don't seem as they seem to everybody. To a layman, it's gonna seem like the streets are bad. You understand? Yeah. So even while I was still in school, I was still getting stuff from the streets and selling at CBU. Yeah.
Okay.
Laptops, phones. Yeah.
Did you ever, having that experience of selling some defective something? You saw something is broken down, they come back.
Luckily, I never had such kind of scenarios. No police case, not even once. Imagine, I made it clean from the streets.
You made it clean.
Yeah,
That's good.
never.
So now you tell me about the first Win Electronics, because from the streets, because I want to know, because at the time you were on the streets, there was no Win Electronics. You're just hustling.
Yes, I was just hustling, yeah.
Tell me about what now birthed Win Electronics.
Okay, so when I went to Israel for school, yeah. So while I was in Israel for school, I was working and I was able to save up $75 a day, $50 depending on how good the day is. So I was putting those monies together, yeah. So with that background of electronics from the streets, I need to say if I could have a certain amount of money, I would actually just flourish and make it big. Understand? Because I realized there was a growing demand for products, and then I just used to love to do Apple, like the strictly Apple, iPhone 5s, 6 Plus, yeah. So basically, I need to say if I could have a certain amount of money, I would supply. Not only was I looking at supplying on back in town now, then I was going back to school. So I was looking at supplying laptops in school and everything else back in CBU, which I managed to do. So while I was working, of course, saving up a couple of dollars here, there. By the time I was completing in Israel, I think I'd raised almost about $8,000 to $9,000. Yeah.
And how long were you in Israel?
I was there for a year.
For a year?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, where did the name Win Electronics come from?
So, when I came back, I thought, what would be the best name for a place where people are happy? A place that is progressive. Then I thought, Win. So we're going to be winners. That's why the name Win just came up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had your first store at what's the place that's called?
Codrington House.
Codrington House, along
Yes.
Kwacha Road, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about what made you, because again most people, there's a difference between the hustling you do on the street and the hustling you do when you are actually having an establishment, a place where people can come and transact with you.
Yes.
Tell me about how you found that place first of all, the rentals and the process leading to you establishing a physical presence.
So actually the first room I actually found was a barber shop. So we had to share. A barber and me, where I could have my small display of phones and whatnot, yeah. So from there, we set up a small display, very small, and a small table in the corner, yeah. Then I made my first trip to China. That was immediately after I was done in school, I think 2019. I came back with a few phones in my bag, yeah, which I displayed in the same barber shop where we were sharing, yeah. Then we were in the process of registering Win, yeah. So we started selling. People would come, you make a few sales here and there. But one thing I always told myself is I was never going to compromise on quality. I would rather make minimal amounts of monies, but give a quality product because it was always going to bring back customers. So from there, luckily enough, somebody moved out in one of the rooms at Codrington House. Then we established what we can call as Win One, which is still running up to now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was your first Win Electronics.
Yeah.
How long did you have Win One before you went to Win Two? And Win One, by the way, is the name he gives to his stores. So Win One was the first one in town at Codrington House. How long did you have Win One before you went to Win Two?
I think about approximately 7 to 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 8 years.
No, 8 months.
So you had Codrington House for 8 months.
Yeah.
And then you opened
Society Business Park.
Society
in the
Business
mall.
Park at the mall.
Yeah.
What was different having a store at the mall and having a store in town? Okay, both of them are in town,
Yeah.
but what's the difference having a store at a mall
Yeah.
and just having a store like, where some other shops are?
Okay, so if you having a store in the mall like Society Business Park, puts you in a space where people can trust you more. So looking at the quality products that we're able to give, you understand, people trusted us more. So if you look at the movement from Win 2 to Win 3 is almost exactly a year. From Win 2 to Win 3 is exactly a year. So it means within a certain amount of time, if you're just creating a certain amount of value, you're in a place where you can give value. People will give you money. Be it in the poorest of economies, it's just value that you need to create, and people will give you money. And I have seen it.
All right.
Yeah.
What are the challenges of running a business at a shopping mall in Zambia? Because we've seen a lot of them close, and we have a lot of shopping malls that are struggling to find tenants. Because, well, first of all, it's perceived to be very expensive.
Yeah.
You look relatively young.
Yeah.
You've got 2 stores at 2 big shopping malls.
Yeah.
Tell me, what are the challenges you're facing running these 3 stores at the moment, especially the ones at the malls?
Okay. Honestly, for as long as you're doing the right thing, you're giving the right products, I don't think you'd actually face any challenges. I personally haven't had any challenges in terms of being unable to pay my rentals and on any other stores. Each store is able to pay for itself.
Each store is paying for itself.
Yes.
Run me through. Let's talk numbers. What is the cost, for example, rent at Society Business Park?
We're looking at maybe $1,000.
$1,000 per month.
Yeah.
And the one at Long Acres?
Same.
$1,000.
Yeah.
So that's $1,000, $1,000.
Yeah.
And Codington House is what?
Codington House is about $200.
$200.
Yeah.
So your total cost for rentals alone is $2,200.
Yeah.
How much is that in Kwacha? No, $2,200 in Kwacha is what? That's 2,200 times, let's say 16, because today is 16.
Yeah.
What is it? 35,000 Kwacha.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, eh? So how do you get to balance the numbers? Because I know it's one thing to say, yes, we're giving value, but value alone won't get you the customers.
Yeah.
There are so many people giving value, but they're failing to manage that.
That is true.
What is your formula for making all of this work?
That is true.
Because to be honest, if you were just about value alone, you would still not be around, or you'd have closed one and go to a cheaper place and whatnot.
True.
What else apart from value do you feel keeps your businesses afloat?
Okay, so we're looking at personally, if you look around, every human being in this world believes that the most important human being in this world. Trust me. At Win, our biggest goal has been to value each and every customer of ours, which has always brought them back. If you're hearing this and you've got customers that walk into Win, just know you've lost them. Every human being is the most important human being, and I always tell this to my partners. My partners, that's my young brother, my cousin. Those are people I've decided to empower, and I've told them, say, if you want to be a part of this, let's work together. And they're not my workers, no. The people I'm working with. My wife too, and I'm glad to say I have changed the narrative, and they're all happy. Each one of them can buy their own car. They're able to pay their own rentals, just from Win. So I told them if I travel out, which I do on a regular, maybe twice a month, I have to travel out to bring in stock, and they mess up Win, it's not me who's gonna go down. We're all going down. Yeah, which is a very common norm around here in Africa, in Zambia in particular. When somebody's cup is about to get full, they wanna push it down. Yeah. But forgetting if they can hold it down and it overspills, it definitely everybody around holding that cup is gonna benefit.
So how many people do you employ?
Right now, I think we have got about 8.
About 8 people.
Yeah. And
then the others are your partners?
The others, we're working together.
You're working
so
together.
They're actually very active in the business, managing the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much would you say your business is worth?
As of now, because we... I don't like speaking numbers.
No, but
but
because, are you 30 first of all?
Not yet.
You're not yet 30.
Yeah.
I'm asking you that because I want other young people to know
Okay.
that it's possible for them.
Okay.
You
Okay.
get the
Great.
point, eh?
Yeah.
And for me, that's why the numbers are important.
Okay, great.
Because there's some numbers you think, no, you have to be a minister in Zambia for you to
Yeah.
have those kinds
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
So the numbers inspire others that it
Okay.
is possible.
Great. Great.
And that's why I asked, what is your business worth?
Okay. So if we look at now on all of our stores, I think each of our stores would be approximately holding stock maybe to 1.5 million kwacha. Then we're actually running another business aside from Win, which is cars. Very active.
You're selling cars?
We're bringing in cars, 10 cars,
So altogether,
maybe like 5 million.
5 million
Yeah.
kwacha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. How do you maintain discipline? Because like I said, you're young.
Yeah.
Young people want to live the life.
Yeah,
You want a soft
yeah,
life, you
yeah,
know. You
yeah.
want to play around and whatnot.
yeah.
And if you have assets worth 5 million kwacha,
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. How do you maintain your discipline?
So of course, if we're going to talk of discipline, there's no business that's ever going to grow without discipline. Reason why I married, people would say I married young, but I mean, my wife has been there for me from CBU actually, when I was in second year. So we've dated for like 7 years. At least she's going to put me in check. You know, I'm not gonna, if I'm getting home late, I need to report. If I'm doing business, of course I'm gonna have late business meetings, I need to report. And if you have somebody you can report to, somebody's gonna put you in check, I think it will help you at least achieve a certain amount of discipline. Then again, not looking where I'm coming from, the poverty, Of course, we've been privileged to have all these good things, not as much, but an average life. But I want to be the game changer. Like, not only for my family, for everybody around me.
What was the lowest point in your life, if you look back? Since you mentioned the poverty, looking back, what was the lowest point where you felt like, maybe I may not amount to anything?
I've always been ambitious. And that's one unique part about me. And I don't think I've really sat down and thought so much like, okay, life is about to break me now. Of course, I've had a lot of challenges here and there, but I wouldn't say I've actually hit the lowest point. I've lost money. I've lost so much money, 150,000 kwacha in cash. Even before I had even before I have this much money that I have now, I've lost so much money. But I had to put myself together. One morning, after losing about 150,000 kwacha on my account, waking up in the morning, I was broken. I was depressed. I could just leave the store and say, I've gone for business. I'll just go home and sit. Then one morning, I just woke up and told myself, for how long? Look at how much you have. You have to count, have a heart of gratitude. Count what you have and pick it up from there.
How did you lose that money? Was it stolen?
Yeah, it was stolen.
It was in an account?
Yeah, it was in my account. Somebody replaced my SIM, and they were able to access that money. So it should have been somebody who knows me well.
Was it like in mobile money or bank account money?
FNB. It wasn't the bank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's bad PR for them. But anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to drive your attention to managing those around you. Because I know, like you did say, you work with your wife, you work with your brother,
Yeah.
and the other person that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And these are people that are very close to you.
To me, yeah.
And in Zambia, we've had that thing where people say it's hard to work with family. It's hard to work with family.
Yeah.
They take advantage. They're
Yeah.
lazy because what?
Yeah.
What can you tell me? It's my brother's company.
Yeah.
How do you work with family and make sure that all of you have the same vision? Because if you have a vision that's here,
Yeah.
and you surround yourself with those that are here,
Yeah.
you're going to have a lot of arguments,
Yeah.
a lot of bickering,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah,
complaining,
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
what and what.
Yeah.
How have you worked with your family?
Okay, so basically, being the founder, and these are people I've put in to say they're going to work with me as partners, you understand? Huh? And like Miles Monroe would always say, true leadership is always looking at bringing the best of leadership in the people around them, not followers. So these people, I'm always reminding them, say, hey, man, I could have achieved this by now, you understand? And I have these things now. But eventually, if you guys want to mess it up, it's up to you. But of course, my young brother is like the prototype of me. I know he's disciplined. He's somebody, when I was going to Israel, I left him with 3 iPhone 6+. I told him this is a little capital. Make use of it. And honestly, when I was back, I found he had multiplied that money. You understand, huh? Yeah. My wife too. My girlfriend then. Yeah. So when I was in school, I would order a few shoe organizers, whatnot, which would sell to everybody in CBU. I actually had a big book like this where I would just be passing through collecting when BC is paid. So I actually commend the president and say thank you for bringing back the bursary, because for me it actually built my business.
and then also the other thing I'd ask you about is the issue of black tax.
Yeah.
Okay. You look good, you make money, your family sees it.
Ish.
How's that going for you?
I'm a giver, and I don't count on how much black tax I give, but I give it. One time we should take a drive, just from town to Long Acres Mall. You see how street kids are gonna run to Mecca. The women selling bananas. My friends will call me sometimes. No, but I'm a giver, and I believe the more I give, the more I receive.
I want an iPhone 14.
Yes. Interesting.
Yeah. So why I was asking that is because most people feel like that's a drawback. You know, it's a drawback because your money has to be accounted for and whatnot, and then others just take advantage.
Yeah.
You know, there are people who obviously in every family there are those who are not willing to work.
Yeah.
They sit back because they have a brother or they have a cousin who's doing very fine, and every time they just feel like, no, I've got a business idea, you send the money. Tomorrow I have an idea, send the money. Tomorrow, the day you refuse, they say, no, man,
but in such instances, those ones you don't tolerate, because those are people who just going to bring you down. Somebody, if they have to come up with a proper business proposal, even I've been approached because of the ability to do. People have seen the potential that we have. I've been approached, being given huge sums of money, but I mean, if we're able to grow from a point where we didn't have anything to a point where we have what we have now, I think we can grow more. Unless when we get to a point where we register WIN as a limited company, then we have people buying shares in WIN, which is definitely what our next goal is going to be.
All right.
Yeah.
Where did you learn about business? Because you said in school you did agroforestry, which has got nothing to do with business, numbers, accounting, financing. How did you learn about running a business? Where did you learn that from?
No, but you're looking at, the Zambian system is you're going to do agroforestry, but in agroforestry, there is also a part where we would actually learn entrepreneurship. Yeah. And funny enough, my entrepreneurship lecturer was my favorite. It was my very good friend. Even up to now, we still communicate. He's doing a couple of books. He's included me on his books. He's got in our profile. Yeah. So there, at least, we're able to relate at a certain level because he's a businessman too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because while I was in school, I had a gym in school. Yeah. I was running a gym in school.
Okay.
Yeah. I was buying cars, selling cars while I was in school. I mean, just trying to keep money. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And apart from just the entrepreneurship course that you did,
Yeah.
how did you learn about balancing books, for example? How did you learn about accounting? How do you learn? Or do you have someone that does that for you?
Yes. Yes.
So you don't do that, someone else does that?
Yes. Balancing books and whatnot, we have people who do that, yes.
People who do that.
Yeah.
How are you accountable? I know you talk about discipline earlier,
Yes.
but how are you accountable? What I mean is this. The business makes money. Okay? Let's say you and I meet here. I tell you, I want an iPhone 14. You call a guy, he brings an iPhone 14, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay? I give you the money.
Yeah.
I'll give you the money.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But
yes.
is it a guarantee the money will end up in the business's account? Get a point. What I'm trying to bring here is most people struggle between separating themselves from the business. And you find that you give me money for business. On my way home, they call me, no, want a milk. I buy milk.
Yeah.
So the money I go to 20,000.
Yeah.
By the time I'm getting home, I've got 19,800. I get a point, eh? So what I'm saying is, how do you maintain that separation between you and the business? Because obviously in business school, you did entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
You learn that the business is a separate entity on its own, and you are a separate you're separate on your own.
Yeah.
How do you maintain that discipline,
So
where you treat the business differently and not touch the business's money away from your money?
So basically what we're doing now is we're trying to keep a whole cycle of running in terms of stock. Understand that? So if we're going to make money, today we sell, which means we're looking at sending back that money, where we're going to reinvest that money in probably bringing back the same product that was sold. Understand that? The profits are put aside. In fact, for me, I don't even like keeping profits. I don't like keeping money in the bank. My money always has to work. It has to. if I have, obviously you heard me some few minutes ago before we started here, I was talking to my supplier in Dubai. It's supposed to be sending stuff now. Money, it has to work. It has to work. Money in the bank, it doesn't add any value to us. If I was able to have three iPhone 13 Pro Maxes yesterday, and today I have 5, which means I'm making progress. I'm not going. The money in the bank is nothing. The bank won't give me any profit. Not even 1,000, 2,000 kwacha a day. They can't.
You know, that is actually something I've been struggling with myself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like, I run a business. I don't like to talk about
Yeah.
it, but I run my own business. And I sell things.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm tempted to feel like, okay, let me save this money.
Yeah.
But then again, like you said, the money in the bank is not growing,
Yeah.
you know?
So,
So the money which is in things,
Yeah.
obviously, because,
Yeah.
and the thing I like about having money in things is it's hard for you to waste that money.
yes.
If the money is in an iPhone,
Yeah.
you can't,
Yeah.
get a part of
You-
it and
I mean,
no matter even if someone comes and says I need help,
Yes.
vavuta kwa nyumba, I can't get an iPhone and give them. Get
you
a point.
can't. You can't.
can't get an iPhone and give them.
Yes.
But if I have
yes,
cash,
yes.
it was like, oh no, here, Airtel money, or
Uh,
MTN money, or
yes.
Zamto Kwacha, whatever.
Yes.
So for me, I feel like that for me is good advice in terms of always make the money work, have it in things. Because also I've learned that if I buy something, for example, if I order an iPhone 14 for sale, it may not be sold in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
but eventually it will go.
It will go.
Okay, but the money in 2 weeks won't be the same amount of money. It will reduce. But the iPhone 14 will still be iPhone 14.
So in short, if you have products, which means that's where now one thing comes in, which is consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is consistent. Because if imagine you sold that iPhone 14 that you have one piece to somebody, then another person saw your ad and they want the same iPhone 14.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. I'm telling you, it hurts.
So which means you're not consistent as a businessman.
Yeah, it really hurts to have one product
Yeah.
and have two people willing to pay for it.
Yes.
Again, the
Yeah.
time it takes
Yeah.
for you to order
To
another
order
one,
another
they would
one.
have bought from somewhere
Yeah,
else,
yeah.
And then also the thing I've also learned about business is when people come to you the one time and they want something and you don't have, they won't come back.
They're gone.
They'll go somewhere else.
They'll go somewhere else.
Because you don't have that
Yeah.
consistency. It's like, and I always tell people, it's like the way you buy bread.
Yes.
If you've got a shop next to your house and you wake up in the morning, you want to have breakfast, you go to them, oh, I want bread today, they don't have. Tomorrow I want bread, they don't have.
They don't-
Then but you don't even bother. You just go
want-
buy bread from ShopRite on your way
Yes.
back from
Or
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never go
Yeah.
back to them
Yeah.
because whatever I want, they never have.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how much do you pay yourself? Or do you pay yourself?
No, I don't pay myself.
You don't pay yourself.
I don't pay myself.
So you have no salary.
I don't have a salary.
So you have no income.
I don't have an income. It's basically win. It's basically win.
No, but
It's-
like win. But
Yeah.
that's you saw
Yeah,
what I said
I'm
earlier.
yeah.
There's win the
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
Then
yeah,
there's
yeah.
Mayback the person.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I personally I don't pay myself.
So how do
Ev-
you? I don't know if you've built a house or you are renting or your car, the gas.
Yeah.
Where does the money come from?
Yeah. So basically, if you look at those monies in terms of gas and whatnot, those are monies I'm gonna get from the other business. Yeah, from the cars.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I sell a car, I make a profit, a certain amount of money. If it's 10, 5, there I know to say, yeah. And it's also a business that is very running and very consistent.
How did the car business start? In school.
It started in school too, yeah.
But capital for car business is a lot, eh?
Yeah, I mean, you could easily start with, I mean, if you're looking at $5,000, yeah.
You say it like it's 500 kwacha. That's almost like 100,000.
Yeah.
Like almost.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
But
90 somewhere,
yeah.
80.
But remember one thing I said, when I was in Israel, I raised how much? About $10,000. You understand? Huh? So from that money, I had to think of how I was going to keep that money. Imagine if I had kept that money in my account, I would have spent it. By the time I was doing my final year, which was going to take about a year, I would have finished all that money. So I had to find a way of making that money stay in something, which was me buying cars now. Just keeping money so I don't touch that money. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I want to find out from you is you interact obviously with other young people, maybe others are older than you.
Yeah.
What are some of the mistakes that you've seen others make in running their businesses? Or maybe before you talk about people's mistakes, what mistakes did you make in your business looking back?
Looking back, one of the greatest mistakes I ever made was procrastination. Yeah. The very moment I got rid of procrastination, everything just changed. Because
How were you procrastinating?
I've sold 3 iPhones. I'm looking at, I can't order yet. Let me sell 10.
I see.
You understand? but not knowing how long it's gonna take for me to sell the other ones. Yeah.
And others, what do you see others doing wrong in business? Maybe your peers.
Yeah.
What do you see that they're doing wrong that's really, choking their growth?
They're afraid to invest and lack of consistency. Consistency has been one of the biggest challenge amongst my peers. Even at Katondo Street, even now when I look at most of my friends, I just say, but why? But why don't you get in a space where you do certain things that will put you in a greater space? But they don't want to, because they're afraid. They're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid. They can't. Afraid even going to the airport to get on a flight. They're afraid. They don't want. They're waiting to have 1 million kwachas. I mean, there's an old saying that says the farmer who waits for the perfect season never farms.
Have you ever had an imperfect season where there are no sales, nothing's
Yeah.
happening?
I remember sometime back at Win One, we went for like almost close to a week or two. No big phone being sold. Just protectors, covers being sold. Then I remember my colleague Mainga asked me to say, Mr. Win, because everybody refers to me as Mr. Win. Mr. Win, I wish you were going to make it in this business. I laughed. I laughed hard, so because I asked him, but what do you mean? He told me, but we haven't sold anything big. We've only been selling 100 quarters protectors. I'm like, yes, we have to be grateful for selling those protectors. And we have products here, and these products are products of value. People might not have money now, but next week, somebody's going to come and buy this big phone.
How long does your stock last, for example?
Right now, it's amazing now. Now we're pushing. Stock doesn't last.
So, for example, how many iPhones do you sell in a week?
Approximately, it depends. I'll give an example of the iPhone 14 Pro Max. When it just came, I think we were amongst the first ones to have it. Yeah. We had, I think, close to maybe 30, 35 pieces. Yeah. And we saw them in 4 days.
All of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're doing fine, eh? You're doing fine.
We just thank God.
Yeah.
We just
you seem to be doing fine.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to find out from you is on this journey that you've taken, what have been some lessons you've learned? Maybe lessons through experience in business, or lessons that you've learned from others. Maybe someone guides you on this, we do it like this, that have really stuck with you and, are like a compass and are leading you in the direction you're going at the moment.
Okay. So one time I was in desperate need of some money. So I confronted one of my uncles, told him, say, look, me, I'm able to do this. I'll make these numbers. Can you give me some money? Then he told me, no, I'll give you if I have the money. But during that conversation, he mentioned a few very important things. He told me to say, for now, stay where you're staying. Don't concentrate on paying high rent, moving to Kablonga. Stay where you're staying. Be disciplined, minimize on expenses, and that has always stuck with me. Because on any other day, I'm always looking at what? Assets from liabilities. Always, I'm always thinking, okay, is this thing gonna be an asset? Even if I buy a Mercedes Benz, I buy a couple of Mercedes Benz for sale, you understand? But I'm driving a Win car, which is a van. That one is a service van. You can use it for putting in stock, you understand? But I'm gonna sell a Mercedes Benz, which is a plus for me. Yes. So we need to differentiate always assets from liabilities.
Now that you've brought that,
Yeah.
I wanted to bring in the issue of lifestyle inflation.
Yeah.
Because like you said, most people, the more money they make, the more they want to improve their lifestyle.
Yes.
They must know God is blessing you. You get a point? It must show. The clothes, where you're found now, where you have, lunch.
Yeah.
You used to cook at home, now every day is takeaway, in the hotels and whatnot,
Yeah.
and the cars you drive change. The talk to me about your lifestyle. How much do you spend on clothes, looking good, what? You look like you're fashionable with your shades and whatnot.
Yeah.
How do you balance that?
No, apparently, if you look at things in terms of clothes, this is a simple white shirt. A simple white shirt, which you can buy anywhere at 150 kwacha. You understand? Probably gonna have a nice suit, that you'd spend a couple of maybe 1,000 to 2,000 kwacha. You understand? You're still gonna look good. Nice shoes you can buy once in a while. You don't have to always. I mean, it's not always good to inflate things. You understand? Yeah.
All right. And looking at the future, where do you see Win Electronics in the next 5 years?
Of course, now we're looking at Win Electronics in the next 5 years, and very soon, Win will be listed on people would need to start buying shares in Win now. So definitely, Win would have grown. Probably, maybe even one of the biggest suppliers in Southern Africa in terms of tech. For me, that's the vision.
How do you deal with competition?
Looking at competition, for me, I think my wife can even confirm this. I'm a person who's not afraid of anybody around me, but I respect everyone. And I'm a person who's usually so focused on making myself better. So by so doing, I don't concentrate on what others are doing.
But you're aware of what they're doing. Do you follow them? Do you watch them?
No, I don't.
You don't even follow them?
I don't.
This is one of you.
Pardon?
Because for you to understand or for you to respond to what your competition is doing, you must know what they're doing.
Of course.
Then you, maybe for example, if you get a point.
That's a good one. But that one is going to come from who? From the business managers, my colleagues. They're going to come and tell me, Mr. Win, our friends have done this. Our friends are doing this. So I'm gonna give him a task to say, how best can we do this? But by so doing, how best are we gonna minimize on our costs?
All right. So earlier you said your rental cost was about 35,000 kwacha.
Yes.
After our calculation.
Yeah.
So it means that in a month, come rain, come sunshine, your sales must not be less than that.
Of course. Of course. That's in profit. They must not. Yeah.
And how often does it happen that your sales are less than that?
It doesn't happen.
You've never made a loss?
Losses, if products are lost, yes. Products get lost.
Or in transit, whatnot?
No. People stealing and whatnot.
And how do you avoid that?
You've been scammed. You will try by all means to avoid it, but it's very hard. And these things are actually becoming more and more sophisticated by the day.
How innovative is your business? As in, how have you put in innovation? Because now, where the world is going, obviously, I know you deliver. Obviously, that's a given. Yeah. But then also issues like websites. Do you have a website? Do you have an app, for example?
Yeah, we have a website.
You have a website?
Yeah, we have a website.
So I can buy something off your website and pay?
And pay.
Without even calling you guys. I just sit and click like eBay and,
Yes.
One of those.
Yes, we have a website. You can do that on our website. But of course, for convenience and people wanna get to a point where everything is safe for them. So reason why we've actually opened stores now out of town. So they're able to reach a certain amount of customers that don't want to get into town. And which has been working so well for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would your advice be as we come to an end?
Yeah.
I want you to give me your top 5 advice to young people who want to get in business.
Okay. So number 1, discipline. Without discipline, you can't do anything. Number 2, consistency. You need to be consistent at what you're doing. Number 3, for me, is to remember that every human being is the most important human being on earth. That way it will enable you to value each and every person and respect them. Yeah. You'll never hear me calling, and even if, I don't know, for me, it's anybody older than me, it's Makamba, and it's very hard. Sometimes you'd be in a space where people will even be arguing when they see you if for sure it's Mayback, Mr. Win. People, a lot of times I've had people arguing, he's the one, he's not, but it's a good thing for me. It's a good thing for me, which means I'm doing the right thing by not exposing myself so much.
Number 4.
Number 4, I would say be in happy relationships with the people around you. Very important. Number 5, always be accountable to everybody you're working with. Always be accountable and let them know that for sure if they're part of the business, that for sure they're going to benefit and they're definitely going to give it their all. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Win.
Sure.
All right. That was our conversation with Mayback, Mr. Win, Mr. Maybin Simbeye, the CEO for Win Electronics. So Win Electronics basically, some people may not know, Win Electronics basically, you guys sell iPhones, sell electronic gadgets basically, as the name tells. Sell electronic. And is there space for others in that business? Like right now, the way the market is in Zambia, if someone wants to go into that business, is there space? Is there room?
Too much space, because I believe there's no one single supplier who's ever going to meet the demands of everyone. No one. For us, we even order, for as long as it's a high-end tech product, we always have. Latest MacBooks, latest HP laptops, we always have. We don't even have a customer that we're taking it to, but we have it because we definitely know that somebody's gonna be looking for that product. Yes.
How do you price your products? Pricing. What's your pricing strategy?
Pricing is actually playing a major role in what people want to buy now.
Yeah.
So you look around, see how your friends are pricing their products, and see how best you can beat them.
All right, Mr. Simbeye, thank you so much.
Sure.
Please join us again next week at the same time on the podcast. We're back on Wednesday next week with another conversation, and we look forward obviously to more of such. And I hope that you've learned a lesson or two, especially if you are a young person in business. He's making millions, man. So it means that there's room for others as well. But I like the fact that you're educated, because most people just feel like I can just go into business without an education.
No, actually, education plays a major role, because even the way you're gonna articulate issues is a bit different.
Yeah.
It opens up your mind. And
I always tell people, and there's one time I wrote on my Facebook page, I was like, guys, there should be a difference. Yeah. The way a graduate with a degree runs their business and the way someone who does not have the qualification runs a business. Not to say the person without a degree will run their business, run it down or they run it poorly. Yes, they do it very well, but there should be a distinction. Let the school show, you get the point? Let the education show in some way.
So look at this, me being on Katondo Street and getting a bit of exposure in terms of school and living in Israel, the hunger changed, the zeal changed. I was like, no, I need to do things a bit different, you understand? And then it was very rare for any young guy to think of opening a store.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Won't stop talking.